Is Hilary behind us, and she's currently swirling in the Pacific Ocean near Mexico. Good evening. You're watching KCAL News at 5 on CBS Los Angeles. I'm Pat Harvey.
And thank you so much for joining us tonight. I'm Jeff Vaughn. Hilary is expected to weaken significantly by the time that she reaches land, but rain and flooding could be a concern in our area.
And we have team coverage on Hilary. Meteorologist Marquina Brown is tracking her path from the Next Weather Center, and Michelle Gili went to find out just how coastal communities are preparing. Let's start with Marquina.
Hey there, good evening. I am watching Hilary strengthen because, as you mentioned, it is sitting in 80-degree, if not warmer water. And as you know, that is a main catalyst in fueling hurricanes. It is not until it moves a little bit further north that I expect it to weaken, but it has done a lot of strengthening overnight and has been doing it today as well. So right now we are looking at a Cat 3 hurricane with maximum sustained winds at 120 miles an hour. This is the projected path at the moment for Hilary, but it could change either way going east or west, and as it does, can completely impact us differently. But either way, it looks like we will feel the effects of Hilary's remnants, possibly from the coast all the way to the Four Corners. Here's why it's strengthening. Of course, it's because of the water, but also we've got a dip in the jet stream, and that area of low pressure is pulling the storm up. Now, as it does that, it's accelerating faster, and so it has less time for weakening, and thus we are seeing a pretty hefty hurricane during really a peak fire season for us. Nonetheless, that's really odd. So that is what we are seeing. We are talking about not only possibly a significant amount of rain, but also wind. Some of the models are saying tropical storm force winds could be felt here and some of the higher elevations. Stick around. We'll talk more about what Hilary will do for us here in Southern California coming up in just a little bit. Back to you.
Okay, Marquina, thank you. Well, there is concern tonight in some areas along the coastline where they have already had their fair share of landslides.
Yes, the fear is the storm's effects could cause more of them in vulnerable cliffside areas. KCAL Orange County reporter Michelle Gili shows us preparations to keep the hillside safe.
Tons of rocks and sand has been moved higher on North Beach in San Clemente as Hilary makes its approach towards Southern California. A public works crew built a small berm along this South Orange County stretch of coastline to protect lifeguard towers and other buildings like restrooms in anticipation of high tides and big surf crashing on the beach.
Anytime you have a swell push up from the south, it's going to be big. And sometimes that doesn't mean it's going to be really good shape. It just means it's going to be big.
Officials are monitoring predicted rainfall, especially in the neighborhoods where landslides occurred. On Friday at San Clemente's Cultural Center, Casa Romantica, workers will spread plastic and place sandbags on the slope that has slid twice recently. For the next few days, all eyes will be on the rail lines that hug the coast. Service has been suspended several times this year through San Clemente due to falling rocks and debris. Crews have been working to replenish Capistrano Beach with sand from the Santa Ana River bottom. The hope is that we don't get monster surf from Hurricane Hilary that takes this sand away.
That stretch of the coastline has been starved of sand for decades. It's now trying to survive with very little sand in the system. So the efforts that we're taking to put more sand in are going to be good for that whole stretch of the coastline, but we need to do more to restore it to a natural state.
Professor Sanders says Hilary could create runoff that eventually pulls sand toward the coast, but it will take many years to build back our beaches that have seen decades of erosion. In Capistrano Beach, Michelle Gili, KCAL News.
Again, by the time it reaches us, it won't be a hurricane, but we will see some rain from it. Stay with KCAL News for continuing coverage, and if you want to track Hilary, just head to kcalnews.com. We have an interactive radar, a full 7-day forecast, and a lot more. Now, the death toll in Maui is devastating. From its devastating wildfire.